They say great things begin with small beginnings. Many people would describe the LIV Golf as great, but it would be hard to describe their beginnings as small. From multi-million-dollar contracts to signing some of the most prominent pro golfers in the world and fighting a legal battle with the PGA Tour, the Breakaway Series has shown it has nothing to do with humble beginnings. Everyone is asking, will LIV Golf be able to sustain its momentum? If yes, how would it do it? Welcome to Golf Links, your #1 source for all things golf. Hit the subscribe button below and turn on notifications. If you have been following LIV Golf in the news, you should expect the Saudi-backed series to spend a lot of money. The series began a spending spree earlier this year that attracted big golfers like Phil Mickelson and Dustin Johnson. The money has yet to dry up, and the series is still looking forward to spending big. First, former American President Donald Trump has publicly declared his support for the upstart tour. He even allowed them to use his course, the Trump National Doral, for their just-concluded golf team championship. And with the support of Trump comes more publicity for the series. Starting next year, the LIV Golf will be known as the LIV Golf League. It seems like the addition of league adds more prestige. Well, you tell us. Anyway, this league will be featuring 14 events in 2023, and that's a significant improvement considering that many people didn't believe the Grey Norman-led venture wouldn't stick its first tee in the ground. It did, and golf lovers in over 160 countries could watch it on various broadcasting channels. The US had to go online to enjoy the games, but that could change next year. Phil Mickelson commented on how far the series has come and said they've passed through the phase of no confidence. In his exact words, quote, "If I'm just looking at LIV Golf and where we are today and where we were 6-7 months ago, and people are saying this is dead in the water, we're past that," end quote. Even LIV Golf CEO Greg Norman described the tour as, quote, "a force in the game that's not going away," end quote. We dare to say it is a mighty force. They just concluded their 8-event inaugural season with a team championship with a $50 million purse. The winning team, called the 4 Ace, led by Dustin Johnson, will share the $16 million first prize money. That's not all Johnson got. Remember, he reportedly joined the LIV on a 4-year contract with a $125 million payout. He also got $18 million as a bonus for winning the individual title. When you calculate his total earnings from this year's LIV Games, the pro golfer has earned $35.6 million. Not a bad way to end the year. Well, next year it's going to be even bigger. The LIV gave $255 million in prize money this year. Next year, they're offering $405 million for 14 events. If you think the winners of the inaugural season made a lot of money this year, they will make more next year. If you're wondering if the LIV has money bearing trees on its courses, they don't. But their sponsor, the Saudi Sovereign Wealth Fund, has enormous oil dollar wells. The series gets to fund its budget from these bottomless wells. In return, the Saudi government and royalty get to look generous in the eyes of the public. The Saudis have invested an estimated $1.3 billion to launch LIV. They're in this for the long run. LIV Golf has already set plans in place on how to use this enormous budgetary allocation. They're moving their offices from downtown West Palm Beach to a high-rise on the block east of their current location. The series plans to lease about 30,000 square feet for its headquarters. Regarding play, LIV is doubling down on the team concept, which it experimented with great success this year. Next year will feature a team championship with 12 4-person teams and continued 54-hole events with shotgun starts. The roster for the 12 4-man teams will include some of the biggest names in pro golf that have already moved to join the league. These players reportedly received at least $100 million to join the Breakaway Tour, with Mickelson receiving a $200 million contract, with half paid up front. Jay Monahan of the PGA Tour has already increased his tour's prize money and added new events, but will this be able to stop the exodus of players next year? LIV already has about 25% of the top 100 golfers in the world, including Phil Mickelson, Dustin Johnson, Cameron Smith, Brooks Koepka, and Bryson DeChambeau play for them. However, if this year was any indication, the league needs more than money to do everything. Star players such as Tiger Woods turned down mouth-watering deals from LIV. Woods reportedly turned down a contract that was worth almost $1 billion. golfers. As it stands now, the PGA Tour has the upper hand regarding squad depth and numbers. They still have more top-ranked golfers than the LIV Series, and their players would qualify for majors if they meet the required point rankings. On the other hand, LIV golfers have invariably forfeited their chances to play in majors and other circuits following their decisions to break away from the PGA Tour. How LIV will resolve these issues next year remains to be seen. Many have argued that LIV players are not getting official World Golf Ranking points because LIV's 48-man fields and no-cut events need to meet the OWGR guidelines. That is true, but a tour doesn't need to meet all the guidelines before they can be awarded points. The OWGR Board of Governors is not interested in offering LIV games any shred of recognition. This denial of official recognition should not come as a surprise, as members of the OWGR board includes top-ranking officials from the PGA Tour and other tours. LIV tried to bypass this by allying with the accredited MENA Tour, and that attempt got nowhere. As it starts, most LIV golfers have dropped points on the global ranking table. Johnson fell from the 13th position to the 31st, Koepka from the 19th to the 40th, and DeChambeau from the 29th to a crushingly low 52nd. These players won't miss the majors much, since they will be pretty busy next year. LIV is expanding its number of events from 16 to 14. Next year's season will begin with an international event in February, then a US event in March. The final event will take place in September. One look at the schedule and you'll notice two things. First, the schedule ends early to minimize going up against the NFL. Secondly, all the league events happen in different weeks, hence they don't clash with the majors. The Players' Championship, the Arnold Palmer Invitational, and the Genesis Invitational hosted by Tiger Woods. Does LIV see a future where their players would participate in other events? It's hard to tell. It could be that they don't want fans to choose between watching their games and watching games from other circuits. It's the second reason. LIV is making significant moves to secure a media rights deal. All of these year's events were broadcast on the LIV website and YouTube channel. The broadcasts were devoid of commercials, except LIV's in-house promotional materials. While it meant fans could watch the games without ads, it also meant LIV had no sponsors. At some point, LIV will have to present something to show for their enormous spending, and they are working hard at that. Already, LIV Golf is losing viewers. They had 60% less viewership on their international events in Bangkok and Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, than their US summer events. LIV's chief operating officer, Atul Khosla, is working hard to sell media rights domestically and internationally, and 2023 might be the year where their efforts produce results. Speaking with reporters, Khosla said, quote, "On the US front, we are back and forth with a few different networks at this point in time. Step one was to show them the product, which they want to clearly understand, show them the graphics and how it would be very different," end quote. When asked about the reported deal with Fox Sports 1, the league representative called the report, quote, "incomplete and inaccurate." On many fronts, 2023 is the year that could decide the fate of the LIV Series and its golfers. It has everything to gain if it reclaims the public spotlight and attracts enough sponsorship to cover its rising operating costs and ever-expanding budget. On the other hand, poor performance in 2023 could signal the end of this spectacular upstart circuit and put to rest the careers of the many pro golfers it has managed to attract. For the sake of these golfers, we hope that the LIV Series can get rolling in 2023.